It was the early 2000s, and my sister and I were living together in a house next door to my parents. Our neighborhood was a tight-knit community, and we all looked out for each other. One of our neighbors was Mr. Crisp, a retired gentleman who had recently moved in from a rough trailer park on the outskirts of town. One Tuesday evening, after a long day of work, my sister and I decided to unwind with a few drinks. A few turned into 30 beers, and before we knew it, the night had slipped away. As the clock struck 3 a.m., we stumbled out into the yard, fireworks in hand, and lit up the night sky. The booms and flashes of color echoed through the neighborhood, and we laughed and cheered, feeling carefree and alive. Afterwards, we stumbled back inside, exhausted, and collapsed into bed. The next morning, my dad received a call from Mr. Crisp. We were all a bit nervous, wondering if we were in trouble for the late night fireworks display. But to our surprise, Mr. Crisp wasn't calling to complain. Instead, he wanted to thank us for the impromptu fireworks show. He had enjoyed the display from the comfort of his own home. My dad, of course, knew that we were responsible for the fireworks. The evidence was hard to miss: a large burnt spot in the grass and a scattering of empty fireworks shells across the yard. But he just chuckled and thanked Mr. Crisp for his understanding. As for us, we learned a valuable lesson that night: always be mindful of our neighbors, and maybe save the fireworks for more reasonable hours. But we also gained a funny story to look back on, and a reminder of the kindness and understanding of our neighbor, Mr. Crisp.